I'm not going to call it a solution, but I do have an update regarding Trinity Rodman and the grievance that was filed against the National Women's Soccer League. Brandon, OIAS, host of Outsider Information. If you remember, I did a short back in the beginning of the month. There was a grievance that was filed on behalf of Trinity Rodman against the NWSL related to the contract that she was trying to sign with the Washington Spirit. The league's stance was that this was a method of cap circumvention that the Spirit were doing. And when I've talked about cap circumvention, leagues have measures in place to prevent that so that teams spend the same amount of money. There is cap manipulation, and that happens in every league, and you can get very creative with contracts, but cap circumvention is always a no-no. The Players Association stance was always that this was a legal contract, and they are just trying to prevent a star player from being paid. And the big concern for Trinity Rodman was that she was not going to stay in the league and she was going to go over to Europe. So the implications here pretty high. The league solution was to allow each team to designate what they are calling a high impact player, the ability to retain a star player by being able to spend up to $1 million outside of the current salary cap. So, problem solved. Not exactly. What this creates is a different sort of cap circumvention, and the union is not in favor of it because they're saying if you can do this, then you can just raise the cap, which has been the argument the entire time. If there are concerns about being able to play players, raise the cap so that you can fit everybody within it. The other issue, the challenge to this, federal law prohibits doing something like this if it is classified as making changes to the salary cap in the midst of a current collective bargaining agreement that is active. You can't make changes to a salary cap without there being true bargaining in place. And this CBA is in place until 2030. It was signed in 2024, and that was after the first one that was signed in 2022. So again, the NWSL, relatively new league, them having collective bargaining, we're less than 10 years old. We're less than 5 years old from the first CBA being signed, and we are only 2 years into the new one. So that is where things are at. We don't have an answer as to how this is going to end yet, and we probably won't until the new year, but it is something worth paying attention to as we're seeing these labor dust-ups pop up all over the place, especially in women's sports. So on that, that's all I got. Don't know if I'm going to have anything over the next couple of days with Christmas Eve and Christmas, but if it's interesting, I will pop in. As always, stay safe, stay sane, and have a good one. Catch you in the next one.